Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. Today I'd like to talk about dividends with regards to the frequency in which they are paid, either a quarterly or a monthly dividend. This has come up a couple times in the comment threads. Viewers asking, what is the better dividend? Is it better to get a dividend every 3 months on a quarterly basis, or is it better to get a dividend every month? So I thought I'd take a look at a couple different stocks here to kind of illustrate the difference between a monthly and a quarterly dividend, and then to talk about which I think is the better play, whether it's a monthly dividend or a quarterly dividend. So we have VYM here, Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF here. It's a very large ETF, 17.6 billion. And this particular ETF pays on a quarterly basis. You can see on the bottom there I have had 3 dividends so far since holding this stock, September 19th, December 29th, and March 28th. You can see that's been given every 3 months. Monthly dividend paying stock is another large ETF here, PowerShares S&P 500 High Dividend Low Volatility ETF. You can see it's also a very large ETF, 3.15 billion, but this is giving dividend on a monthly basis. So the overall dividend yield for this one is 3.9% in decimal form there under the dividend yield tab, and on this particular ETF it's 3%, and that is referring to the return overall for the entire year. So let's just say these were equivalent, 3% and 3%. You're going to be getting the same amount of total dividends per year. It's simply that this particular ETF here will be paid, or the investor will be paid on 4 different dates, 4 equal payments on 4 different dates. With this particular ETF, that same amount will be paid on 12 different dates, or 12 equal payments. And I would regard getting the dividend sooner as being the better play. Why? Because there's this idea that you can compound your interest. So basically, after a dividend pays an investor, that you can take that money and put it back into either the same ETF here or a different stock to get interest and or gains on that money while you're waiting for the dividends. Essentially here you'd be waiting for these dividends and you wouldn't be able to use that capital. So I think it's better to find a dividend that pays out on a monthly basis. Having said that, a lot of good companies only pay out on a quarterly basis. So most of my blue chip companies pay out on a quarterly basis. Actually, all of my blue chip companies pay out on a quarterly basis. The only stocks that really pay out on monthly dividends are ETFs here, and only a few different ETFs. This one here, SPHD, is a very good ETF. Otherwise, you have to look at business development companies like PSEC or PIMCO, or some of the closed-end funds to really get a monthly dividend. And some of the real estate investment trusts, REITs, also pay out on a monthly basis. But otherwise, most of the blue chip stocks pay out on a quarterly basis. Some ETFs pay out on a monthly basis, but most pay out on a quarterly basis. And a lot of the business development companies, closed-end funds, they do pay out on a monthly basis. So I think getting a monthly dividend is much better. You can use those funds to compound your interest, take those dividends and buy additional shares of whatever stock you want to get additional dividends, compounding your interest. But having said that, a lot of the blue chip companies that are very good buy and hold stocks don't have monthly dividends. Very, very few. And as I said, all of mine do not have monthly dividends. They all have quarterly dividends. So that's kind of the difference between monthly and quarterly stocks. Monthly stock dividend is much better than a quarterly dividend, but having said that, most companies pay out on a quarterly basis, and very few pay out actually on a monthly basis, other than some of the real estate investment trusts, closed-end funds, business development companies, and a few ETFs also pay out on a monthly basis. So hope that cleared things up with regards to what is the better dividend. The monthly dividend is better, but most good companies have quarterly dividends. At least blue chip companies that have good dividend yields are all for the most part, quarterly dividends. So I don't want to make the video too long. I'll kind of end it here. As always, if you enjoy my videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys have been learning, watching my series. If you have any good video ideas, let me know. And until next video, we'll see you then.